Bitcoin is trading at $86,000. It is December 1st, and this is going to be a big update here on the charts since we have gotten the monthly closes now of November. It was obviously red, hence the red Bitcoin hat in today's video. And it's the last month of 2025. We're in a technical bear market. That part is undeniable already. And there's just so much here to update. So basically, I want to show you the high time frame, big picture stuff, and how to prepare going into 2026. If this is going to be a bear market, which I think it is going to be. I mean, if it smells like a bear market and looks like a bear market, and the timing is the same as a bear market, it's a bear market until proven otherwise. So it's looking like we're going to get a nasty 2026 with a lot of downside. But that's not supposed to be scary. I make these videos here for years already, every single week, multiple times a week here for free to warn you, to show you how you can read these charts, because then you could have gotten out of Bitcoin and crypto well above $100,000, as I've been making these videos for the last 3-4 months already, warning about the cycle being over. And then you could have been out of spot, you could have been shorting it, and you can make huge money that way. Even if you just sidestep the whole drop and buy back in lower, you're sitting super comfortable. If you're shorting it, super comfortable. And if we're going to get another 12 months of bear market, you're going to want a strategy to be able to profit. And that, what I just said, is the only way to profit from the bear. You need to be out of spot, and you need to be able to short it, because everything just continues to go lower. And there will be counter trend rallies, yes, but they make lower highs and continue even lower. And I think we haven't even begun to see the worst of it, because we haven't seen any treasury companies or funds or exchanges go insolvent yet. I believe that will be coming. And it's a good thing, because like I said, we can make boatloads of money shorting this on the way down if we are prepared for that. So that is this video. Grab yourself your favorite beverage. Let's dive in. And before we do, please smash the like button on this. Leave a comment down below. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Not only to be able to get more exposure to the channel, which is obviously always nice, but I really believe these videos actually can help people save a lot of money. Save people from getting wrecked, from losing loads of money, like their savings, like everything. Because there's so many idiots online. And even people who are very wealthy and who have these big reputations, and they're all wrong. They're all just keep buying the tops. They all keep telling you everything is up only, and it's very clear it's a technical bear market, and I've been warning about this for weeks. So get this out to people. If you agree with my analysis, send them this and let them at least make their own decisions, because I present the charts how they are and how I see them, and not what I want them to be. So if the charts look bearish, I'm going to be bearish. If the charts look bullish, I'm going to be bullish, purely based on price action, purely based on charts. That is all that matters. Now, real quick, there is less than 48 hours left at this point in time to join my VIP membership. Save 50% on the annual access. That's going to double on December 3rd. And right now, there is still an option to join for a one-time lifetime access payment with no future renewals. That disappears December 3rd. So if you want to lock in that access, the link is down below. I highly recommend it. You have a 60-day unconditional refund period. So if you're not happy, at least you've locked in the access. You can still get your money back within 60 days. But once we hit December 3rd, lifetime option disappears and the annual access price doubles. Link in the description down below. Okay, so let's start out with the Bitcoin monthly returns, because we have the monthly close. So November was a really, really bad one. Actually, it was minus 17.67%. We've had a red October and a red November. The last time that happened was in the bear market of 2018. It's very, very rare. Actually, that was the only time that we had a red October and a red November. Historically, those are the most bullish months. So that is not promising at all. And I think a lot of people did not expect it. But the charts were hinting at this for the last few months already with bearish divergences. We had the cycle length timings. There were a lot of signs which I've been hinting about for the longest time. So let's go look at the charts and let's see what they tell us. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin monthly chart. And as you can see right now, we have had the November close. It was this big red candle over here. And that was completely not unexpected because the previous month, the October candle, was basically just a giant spinning top, and that is a bearish candle, especially lining it up with a bearish RSI divergence, plus combining it with the maximum cycle length. We hit 550 days pretty much exactly the same time this cycle. It's the maximum cycle length. And again, surprise, this time is not different. We started dropping exactly after that. Okay, so now you know. Anyone who's been telling you this time is different and we're going up only, unfollow them, block them, because they're all wrong, right? If they haven't been warning about the technicals, they don't know how to trade, and they're just making money by telling people up only, and they're right during the period of the bull market, but they get wrecked along with everyone else that listens to them because they don't know how price action works, they don't know how to trade, and they don't know how to recognize reversals, which is a big issue, okay? So we are now at the same point in time basically as over here in the bear market, and you can see on this chart the 50 simple moving average, which is the 200 week moving average, is basically the same as the 50 month moving average. That becomes a target, and that is currently sitting at about $56,000. We're currently at $86,000. That's another $30,000 drop, or approximately, I'm going to say that's close to like 40% from here. 34%. Okay. But you can see it did go a little bit below it. So I would not be surprised if this is a continued bear market, which at the moment it looks like it, to take out this low over here, which is 50,000. If you base it on what has happened previously in bear market cycles, we're looking at a 50 to 60% drop below the 50-week moving average, which would put us somewhere between $50,000 and $35,000 as a target. But obviously, the lower we go, the closer we get, and then we can start to estimate that better. For now, I think at least tagging this, you can see here, even this was the 2018 bear market, we hit the 50 moving average at the bottom of the bear. Here we went below it in the 2022 bear, and now we have 2026 ahead of us. And obviously it's higher this time, so that means we could actually even go below it even more than the previous times, but time will tell. The thing I want to point out here before we go over to the weekly chart is the fact that we have a major bearish RSI divergence here between the cycles. That's over a 5-year period on a monthly chart, bearish RSI divergence. That is not a good sign, guys. That is a sign that potentially we might be in for the worst bear market that we've ever seen. Not just a mild one like people are predicting because this time is different. No, this time we might actually get a complete global financial meltdown like 2008. That makes for a different video. I'm not going to get into that here, but basically everything looks crazy, overextended. The valuations are way past 2001 dot-com bubbles. We have the economy, which is in shambles. People are defaulting on stuff. It's crazy. So we have never had a Bitcoin bear market with a global financial crisis, because obviously Bitcoin came in 2009 after the previous financial crisis. So if we do get another global financial crisis, and you can see the charts are starting to reflect this here already ahead of time. Remember, I always say everything is in the charts. That's what I base everything on, and that's how I make my predictions and why I'm often so accurate. This is looking like it could potentially result in a massive, crazy bear market, the worst one we've ever had, that goes down deeper and longer than most people expect. And if I were to say that Bitcoin might end up going back to $10,000 over the next 2 to 3 years, I don't know what the percentage chance of that is, but it's definitely not zero, and maybe it's in the single-digit percentages. I don't know how to calculate that, but I wouldn't rule it out completely. If there is a global financial crisis, and there's a housing crisis, and a banking crisis, and everything just absolutely goes to shambles, be careful, all right? Be careful of what we could get. Okay, so let's move on to the weekly chart, because that was the monthly here. It looks bearish. Very simply put, also here, we have the weekly chart. We lost the 50-week moving average, as you can see, and every single time, I've made videos about this in the channel in the past, so I'm not going to go and show you, but every single time here, we've lost the 50-week moving average. It's game over. Okay, it's bear market, undeniable, it's here. So anyone who's still telling you right now we're still in a bull market, unfollow them. They don't know what they're talking about. They are completely clueless. They don't know how to trade. They don't know how price action works. Every single time without fail, below the 50-week moving average, is a bear market. And that happened a long time ago already at 102,000. So it's quite simple, the strategy. We are in a bear market until we reclaim the 50-week moving average. So until we get a weekly close above this 50-week moving average, which is currently at 102,000, it's just bearish, which means that we will get rallies, but every single rally makes a lower high and then goes lower, and then makes a rally and goes lower. The same thing, you can see it in previous bear markets, and this is the cycle, this is the pattern. 2014 was a bear market, 2018 was a bear market, 2022 was a bear market. We're here with 2026 around the corner. Everything is just repeating in the same way, and I don't know why people don't see it. Everyone is arguing, oh, we're still bullish. Oh, Dirk, you're wrong. Well, if I've been wrong, why have I been right since the top, right? We're at 86,000. I was saying 120 was the top, 125. It's just here in front of you. And if you don't want to listen, you're going to lose your money. That's fine. It's your money to lose. I don't really care. But if I can help you make more money, that's why I make these videos, right? So if you would have gotten out around the top, maybe we still get some sort of rally. But you saw even yesterday, before the monthly close on the Sunday, we were still at just about 92,000. We dropped like almost $7,000 in a period of 24 hours after the monthly close. Like, it's nuts. We couldn't even get to the yearly open at 94,000. So basically, any rallies, I'm looking for swing shorts, and you can consider, it's your money, I'm not going to tell you what to do. If I still had any spot, I got out of all my spot a long time ago. If I still had spot, I would be looking to get out of that completely in any sort of rallies, because, like I said, in a high time frame bear trend, what it does is it just continues lower after. So even if there is a bounce, it just continues lower. And we also have not even seen any liquidations. We haven't seen a treasury company blow up. We haven't seen a fund blow up. We haven't seen an exchange go under. And we're at 86,000. Just wait until we go lower. That is pretty much guaranteed to happen. It happens every single bear cycle. There are people who are over leveraged, who buy the top and who can't handle the drawdown, who are forced to sell or who get liquidated. And then it creates a massive cascade. The whole market goes lower. Altcoins get absolutely decimated, right? So this is the reality of where we are. And again, it shouldn't be a scary thing. If you've been watching the channel, if you listen to what I've been saying, you could have gotten out and you would be very, very comfortable right now. And if you didn't get out, well, then you have a decision to make, because we're sitting here at 86,000, which is obviously way down from 126, where it was just a couple months ago. But 86,000 is still a lot higher than 60,000 or 50,000 or 40,000. So that's a decision you have to make. And then this is obviously Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin drops another 40, 50% from here, what do you think altcoins are going to do? They can drop 80, 90, 99%, and there's no guarantee those recover ever. In fact, they probably don't. So, again, I don't want to scare you, but I'm presenting you with the facts, with the data, before it's still too late. And it's already a little bit late, I guess. But the real bear hasn't even really started, in my opinion. And we could still have 6 to 12 months ahead of us of much lower prices and continued selling. And that is hopefully, if we don't get a global financial crisis. If we get a global financial crisis combined with a Bitcoin bear market, I think it's going to get very, very ugly. And a lot of people are going to get absolutely wrecked. And I don't want you to get wrecked. Okay? So this is where we're at. To summarize, and actually to keep it very simple, the 50-week moving average. Below it is a bear market. Above it is a bull market. And as long as we're below it, any rallies or short squeezes, whether they happen in a day or whether they take a couple of weeks, they are swing short entries and opportunities to get out of spot. It's really that simple. And then, of course, you can apply this to all the other things. The reason why I look at Bitcoin is because it's just the leader. If Bitcoin's going to go into a bear market, altcoins are going to follow. So if we put a range on here, technically speaking, we marginally swept the previous all-time high, but that came again with a bearish RSI divergence here. And that was just a warning sign. And since that happened, it completely dropped. And we're right in the middle of the range right now, below the 50-week moving average. Tom Lee, Fundstrat, they bought billions and billions of dollars. They are down billions and billions of dollars. They bought the top at the end of a 4-year cycle, which in my opinion is just completely ridiculous. Like, anyone who's been around in Bitcoin, you don't need to have any credentials to understand you don't buy the top of a 4-year cycle. So I don't know what he thinks he knows or what he knows, maybe he doesn't know anything because he was also saying guaranteed 250K Bitcoin by the end of the year. We have 31 days or 30 days left. That's not going to 250K. I don't know what these people are on. I think they're completely wrong and they're going to get completely wrecked. But that is one of the dangers, what I mean. So these people are still in here. They're still buying. They're doubling down. And that is one thing if they end up being right. But if it gets to a point where they haven't prepared for a serious drawdown and a long drawdown and they start selling, it's going to absolutely destroy the market and create one of the worst bear markets yet. And that is the danger. The real danger here is these people like Tom Lee who have bought billions of dollars worth of ETH at the top, MicroStrategy, Meta Planet, these treasuries, if they start selling, it's going to destroy the market, and we haven't even started yet. So it's looking very, very dangerous. And if this is the range here over here, the technical target is the low with the X here. So it's the 2022 lows, which is a target of $880 on Ethereum, and probably a sweep below there. So we could literally see below $900 on Ethereum in 2026. I think that's very much a possibility. And I really wouldn't even consider anything bullish here at this point unless we reclaim maybe 4,000 again or something like that, or we create some sort of bottoming structure. At this point in time, it just looks bearish. It looks really bad. If you look at monthly here also, you can see like we've had 3 consecutive red months in a row. It just looks terrible to me. And then finally, I want to show you here the total market cap. I think these are the 3 most important charts in crypto. It's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, it's the total market cap. All the rest of the altcoins don't really matter because they're going to follow this. And if this is all going down, the rest of the altcoins are pretty much all going down, even worse than this, especially the shitcoins. So maybe I'll make a separate video on that, but it's basically the same thing here. And you can see this is super, super dangerous because number one, we have the monthly bearish RSI divergences. Like, look at this. Like, it's crazy. The previous cycle, what happened here? Exactly the same. We made a higher high, lower high on the monthly, on the weekly, and that was the bear market. Now, what we've had here is even worse because we have this range here, high to low. We have a deviation. We are now back in the range. The technical target here is this bottom. And keep in mind, with the altcoins, we have had literally like 100 million different coins created. So in theory, the market cap, if it gets back here, it's even lower than the same level. Even if it's the same level, because there's more coins, the prices will be lower than that. And we're here back in the range. We have the same high time frame bearish RSI divergences. But if you can see what's happening here also, there is, the same like Bitcoin, a divergence between the cycles on the monthly chart, meaning there is a 5-year bear divergence, meaning that crypto could be absolutely wrecked and that the bear market we're about to get could literally be one of the worst. Like, people aren't anticipating how bad it could actually get. This could go on much deeper and much longer than any previous bear market that we've had, simply because the whole market, the whole altcoin market could actually just be completely finished. And I don't want to be too certain with any of this stuff. I don't know for sure, right? I just follow the charts, but I do want to give that warning, and I do want to acknowledge the possibility that things could get really, really bad just based on the cycle divergence here. Not just like a monthly divergence, like a 5-year bear divergence on the total market cap, on Bitcoin, confluence with a potential global financial crisis. There's some logic to it, and there's some reasoning to this. So I just want to warn about this. You make your own decisions, what you want to do. At the end of the day, it's your money. So what you decide to do is your choice. But I would be very careful here and not make any assumptions that it's just going to be a standard 6 to 12 month bear that's just going to go back up again afterwards. What if it doesn't? What if it's much worse? And this is obviously, it just applies to risk management, right? So if someone decides, oh, I'm going to hold, and they're overexposed and they're not prepared for how bad it can get, they're going to become a forced seller at the worst time and take massive, massive losses. That's why I say, for me, I follow the charts. I'm out of spot a long time ago. I'm happy to trade this. I'm happy to short this. And I welcome a crazy bear because it means we can make huge amounts of profit. And when the time is right and things look good, we can load up on spot Bitcoin again sometime in future, maybe in a year from now, maybe in 2 or 3 years from now. I don't really know, and I don't really care because I can profit from this if it keeps going down. And if we don't have a bull market for 3 years, it doesn't matter. We can still trade and make money. And that is what I'm trying to share here and trying to warn. So once again, if you want my guidance and my mentorship, every day I'm in Discord. I'm sharing charts, trade ideas, trade setups. That's what I do for more than 3,000 members. I've been doing this for years and years. Every day, without fail, I show up. There's a special offer for another 2 days until December 3rd. The annual access doubles and the lifetime access pay once. No future renewals disappears. This is the last time to get it. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee. So again, you can sign up. If you don't like it, you have 60 days. Get your money back in full. No strings attached. But December 3rd, lifetime access disappears and the annual access doubles. So I would recommend signing up. It's like the proof is all there. Either way, guys, I hope these videos help you. I hope you don't get wrecked. I hope you make a lot of money from this because it's possible, right? Crashes, you can make fortunes, but you need to be prepared. You need to have the right strategy. I'm sharing the charts here. If the charts look bullish, I will switch bull again. I'm not married to any specific bias. The charts look like a bear market, I'm going to be shorting the high time frame trend. If the chart is bullish, I'm going to be longing. It's really that simple. You just be flexible. You follow the charts. Forget all the noise. Unfollow all the people who don't know how to trade. Unfollow all the people who are just blindly bullish without acknowledging the technicals, without acknowledging the cycles. Lots of people are wrong. Doesn't matter if they're rich. They can still be wrong. In fact, many are. So be careful who you follow. At the end of the day, you want to learn how to read charts. So you don't need to follow anyone. And you don't need anyone for opinion on what you should do, where you should buy, where you should sell. Because if you know how charts work and how price action works, all you need is just the chart and you can make your own decisions and probably get better results than 99% of people out there. So thanks for watching. Come and join me in VIP if you're not in there yet. It's literally risk-free. Smash the like button, share this with someone who could benefit from it, and I'll see you in the next video.